Kwame and Arenas did what?
Here we go.
Don't swallow hard, nigga. Cause right. Daddy put you up there. Shit. Don't swallow hard now, nigga.
Came to be a man. Finally set it up.
Hey, where's the volume, man? I can barely hear y'all.
You can hear?
Yeah. Turn the volume up.
You might have to back out and come back in if you can't hear if you're on your phone. Sometimes it
back out. That motherfucker gonna say his phone died.
Nah, he ain't
talking too much, nigga. If you ain't scared, why you talking so much? Let me finish what I'm doing and shut your bitch ass up. We know you scared, nigga. I don't know when you turned into the tough guy, nigga, but them white boys ain't make you tough, nigga. You was by the bathroom getting jacked up, bitch ass nigga. So I don't know what you talking about all of a sudden.
Getting jacked up by who?
Don't worry about it. Hold on, I'll be right back. Tough guy, beta talk and all this shit, nigga. Come on, man. Nigga, you won't be able to pull your bitch ass up on me. Come on, my nigga. Don't play games like that.
Come on, man. Hurry up and glog on back off, man.
I don't even want to talk to this clown because I know this nigga is a zaddy boy. This is my thing, though. And when I ask you to stop talking about me, this is the thing that you don't understand because you stupid. The only reason why they ask you questions about me, boy, is because you not media trained. Any dumb motherfucker that'll talk about a black woman the way you did and you black and your mama black, nigga, stop trying to act like you smart. You a dumb motherfucker and they got you up there because you say stupid shit like you said in rookie transitional camp that you wanted to be a motherfucking pimp. And I did dumbass nigga, I said I wanted to build apartment buildings for women, nigga.
I did that. I said I wanted to be a pimp. That's what you're crying about, right? If you
ain't gotta talk while I'm talking, I'm gonna let you talk. The reason why you so mad, nigga, and always talking about me, if you would ever been the #1 draft pick, Agent Zero, a nigga who spent up all their money their first year and had to borrow money, a dumb motherfucker who had the keys to the gym and had everything in their favor, and then lay guns on their seat, a bitch ass showboat nigga that go to jail and have all his homeboys go to jail in DC and they cover it up because Ernie Grunfeld was you had Ernie Grunfeld in your pocket. Nigga, come on, nigga, you ain't no man, nigga. You better stop running your motherfucking mouth, nigga.
You mad at me because
I ain't mad at shit. Why you keep saying I'm mad? You them white boys taking somewhere else. What do I have to be mad about?
You lay here, you lay down everything. Oh, you got to say you was a pimp. Oh, you got to lay guns at me and you have a
okay, we're gonna talk one at a time.
What did I do to you, nigga? Why you mad at me?
Because you want to share your goddamn
else. Oh, you did the Lou Peter thing. You
man,
did
this nigga just talking.
What did I do to you?
Running this motherfucking mouth. Why does this nigga keep talking about me? Because anybody in the chat
asked about you.
Why did he have to?
Welcome back to my channel. If you haven't already, definitely hit that like button. Hit that subscribe and also hit that notification bell so you can see when my videos are coming out. Wow. This was a great interview. And I will leave the interview at the bottom of the description box so you can see the full interview in its entirety. But I'm happy that Kwame and Arenas got together and talked. And, you know, I want to say RIP to their friendship. Let's give a moment of silence.
It's so hard to say goodbye to yesterday.
See, Arenas should have never went on this show to talk because he looked stupid in this interview. Now, Kwame basically is coming after everybody who talk about him, and I don't blame him. He's been holding his tongue for 20 years and people disrespecting him, you know, and he worked hard to get to where he is. I respect the fact that, you know, people forget in high school he was the Georgia Player of the Year and just dominating. And you know, he put in work to get that money. And you know, a lot of people call him bust, and it's all started with ESPN, Skip Bayless and Stephen A. Smith. You know, they wanted a show for themselves. I'm not gonna say Skip Bayless was a failure. He was a failure in sports, and he had a vendetta against a lot of these athletes, and he made a name for himself covering all these teams, being a true fan that he is, but he's just not an athletic person. And same with Stephen A. Smith. You know, a lot of people say, you know, if you can't do, teach, and that's what usually happens. A lot of these people can't do the activities that they're teaching, and that's what they're doing. So Stephen A. Smith was basically a bum in basketball, if you want to call it. He was a bust in basketball, just like all of us, because there's only 400 NBA players in the whole world, and millions of people are trying to get from high school, to college to just be considered to play, and he did play. Now, I would say this with Kwame ended up getting a second, third contract. Yes, I'm pocket watching right now, and they were willing to pay him that type of money. So I understand what he's saying. He got paid that money to play, and they wanted him for a reason. Now, back in the day, they would hire the Oakleys, the Xavier McDaniels, the Derek Coleman's, which Derek Coleman had a lot of hoop game. But these people were headbusters. These people were proven to fight for the team. So in my opinion, even if he wasn't a scorer on the team, because that's how the teams were built back then, they always had this star. They had maybe one or two stars, and the rest role players. You had your shooters, you had your people who would take fouls, then you had the people who would fight for the team. Now, Kwame was a scorer in high school. For whatever reason, he has to tell us why he didn't want to score in the NBA, and I definitely respect his opinion because he was there. He was the one who actually got a chance to play with the Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, and play against LeBron James, all of our favorite players, if you will. So I respect everything he says on that basketball court, because you had to be what he call a heck of a N-word, which I'm not going to say, but a heck of a dude to even be on the court with those guys. And Kobe respected him. So if Kobe respected him, everybody else should respect him as well. They want to call him a bum, his peers. And one thing I like about Kwame Brown is he know these dudes. And that's the worst thing to have. If someone know you and you go talk about that person, oh man, they know your mama got a wooden leg. They know your dad got 6 toes trying to play kickball. They know all these jokes. They know everything about you. So the worst thing to do is talk about somebody who knows anything about you. Now, also, what I know about Arenas, Gilbert Arenas, is he's a guy who can't fight. And he tells you, he's like, hey, I'm not a fighter. So usually when you're dealing with someone, there's 2 things that they do, and a lot of times they can't do it at the same time. Now, I believe Kwame can do this. Either you can fight or you're funny, but you're never both. See, Shaq can fight, but he's not really funny. He tried too hard, to be honest with you. I think when he went to this in the NBA on TNT, I think he's trying too hard. He's not as funny. Now, Charles Barkley was one of my favorite players ever. Can't fight, but he's funny. He can't fight. You ever see him fight? He fighting, he's punching with his guard down. If the right dude hit him on the chin, he's dropping. He couldn't fight. He dropped some people because they can't fight, but he can't fight, but he's a funny dude. And Kwame actually is a funny dude, and he can fight. If you can hear in this interview, Arenas basically said, yeah, he did knock some people out, and I saw it. Yeah, he did help me when a guy tried to rob me, and he basically rectified that situation. So Kwame is real, and that's what Kwame is trying to say. Like, these internet dudes, you're on internet, but you wouldn't say this in my face because I'm proven to knock somebody out. I think that's why Steven Jackson pulled off, or he tried to play that gang stuff, because he know Kwame will knock him out. Now, that is the interesting thing, but Kwame ethered this dude. Everything that Kwame was saying for the last month or 2 came out to be true. Everything. Gilbert Arenas is a Valley kid. He never was about that life. And he don't have to be. Everybody's not about that life. Just not, And he didn't get any love because he was a skinny kid just playing basketball. And when he got to the NBA, he started flexing his muscle. That's what Kwame said. He started, being disrespectful. People who had women outside of their marriage, he's taking them. He's like going against his boy to take these women, knowing you can't say nothing because you're married. And so Kwame was saying, I saw how you are, you wrong. You ever see them guys who you get in a room and they try to embarrass you around girls so they can put themselves up there and put you down? That's what he said Arenas was doing. And now to piggyback on Arenas, I think he's funny. Like I said, fighters are not usually funny. They're serious business. You say something about them, they punch you in the mouth, knock you down. But comedians, like I know a lot of people from high school, like if they got out of fights because they were funny. The funny guy, like the Kevin Harts of the world. You know, you're the comedian. We can't take you serious. You're just a jokester. Now, I believe he's a jokester. I believe everything that Kwame said. Arenas admitted it. You know, and all Kwame wanted was, hey, look, we are deeper than this. I know how you are, so I gotta watch you because I saw some little things you did. You know, like whatever girl he was talking to, you start talking down on me to him. I mean to the girl, and that's wrong. That just shows you what type of dude you are. And Kwame basically exposed it when he said something about him, because obviously Kwame feels some kind of way with people calling him a bus. You know, now his kids got to hear it. You know, and so he's changing the definition of what you say bad is, and I agree with that because I remember Jalen Rose was the first one that I can see that sticks up for the brotherhood. The athletes have a brotherhood, and he stuck up for the athletes back in 08, where he could have been further in his career with Skip Bayless and the ESPN, but he said he fell back and said, no, you got to watch this word bomb, because Scalabrini and all them people play with these guys. If you play with civilian people, they'll destroy you. I'll give an example. I remember I was playing against Julius Page. I know pretty much nobody remembers him unless you watched college basketball in the early 2000s. And one day, we were playing basketball with this guy. Now, I think I'm okay, but when we played with this dude, it was just on another level. He scored all the points. He was running down the lane, bouncing off the backboard, slam dunking it, and no one could watch him. And he didn't even get a shot to make the NBA. He was a college star at Pitt. So that just shows you the level of skill that is between the average YouTubers like myself and these players. And Kwame is 6 foot something, 6'10", 7 foot guy, and he was watching Shaq. Like, think about that. Like, he played deepest on Shaq, and just remember, those players back then was different. Did they hire him to score? That's the question. They knew his potential. But I tell you this, all those players wanted him behind his back. He was the new Charles Oakley, if you will. Charles would give you 10 and 10. Now his numbers is a little lower than that, and he said it was because of injury. But those guys is needed back in that old NBA. In the old NBA, you needed those head busters that wasn't scared to get the rebound and play against the Shaqs and the tough guys. There was tough guys in the NBA. There's no tough guys in the NBA right now. I'm not saying they're not tough, but they're not paid to be tough. Back then they were. You had to have a tough guy on your team or you was gonna get run through. It's the same way when you play in the hood. When you play in the hood, you gotta be tough. You can play in the suburbs where Arenas was playing, because that's all they do is shoot jump shots. But back in the day, you had to go to that hole, and you was probably playing with some dude that had a gun on him. You know what I mean? And you had to be a tough guy. And why I think Kwame Brown is so funny is because when he said, people talked about him. He probably was some skinny kid, skinny, strong Southern kid with no shoes on. He used to play people for basketball. He had to be a tough dude in Georgia, you know? And that's what I respect about him. And I mean, I don't agree with everything that he says, you know, when it comes to, like, we shouldn't be talking about people with sports and stuff like that. I understand what he's saying, but my thing about it is we should be able to talk about stuff that we pay for, not just because we ain't play. Like if he went to a restaurant, I always use this analogy. He went to a restaurant and the food was crappy, you're gonna talk about the food that you paid for. So if it wasn't for us as fanatics who's watching this game, good or bad, it wouldn't generate this much money because everybody's paying attention. See, Georgia, he grew up in Georgia. Dominique Wilkins was a legend, but nobody talks about him right now. You see what I'm saying? Nobody even put him up in the top 75, I think. I don't even think he's in the top 75. Nobody talks about him, but he was a dynamic player. They talk about Doc Rivers more than they talk about him, and they was on the same team. So as a athlete, as a business person, you want people to talk about you because that's where the money's generated. That's why I'm talking about this situation right now, because the streets gotta eat. Everybody's gonna eat off of this. Everybody gonna eat off of this. Thanks for Kwame and Arenas. No one's talking about Arenas. Arenas dropped. I got a video where Arenas dropped 60 points on the great Kobe Bryant, but nobody's talking about it. But they're gonna talk about this. So on this situation, like I said, your boy ethered him so bad. Kwame ethered him so bad, man. And I'll drop that link on the bottom.
This is what's great about sports. This is what the greatest thing about sports is. You play to win the game.
So, tell me what you think in the comments below. I really enjoyed that interview. Thank you, Kwame, for putting out that fire. And it's just interesting because, like, when I was listening to the interview, I saw what Kwame was doing. Kwame's not mad. He's playing chess, not checkers. He's playing chess out here. I see what he's doing. He ain't mad. He's like, I'm about to eat off this. He's like, I proved my point. I proved them wrong. And then, because, like in the beginning, he was getting real aggressive. At the end, he was cracking them jokes. He was getting him. So he basically beat the comedian. So shout out to Kwame Brown. And I'll see you guys on the next video.